This is going to blow your mind. Grammar makes or breaks your score. But what if I told you that everything you've been taught about learning grammar for a high-stakes exam like IELTS is fundamentally flawed? For years, students have been told to memorize endless lists of complex grammar rules, fill out tedious worksheets, and cram obscure vocabulary. The result? Confusion, frustration, and scores that just won't budge. Today, we're exposing the biggest mistake learners make, the one that keeps them stuck in the band 5 or 6 range, unable to break through to a 7, 8, or even a 9. The mistake is this: they ignore patterns, not rules. Think about it. Native speakers don't walk around with a grammar textbook in their heads. They use the language intuitively, based on patterns they've absorbed over thousands of hours. That's the secret we're unlocking today. Myth busted. Perfect grammar doesn't mean using fancy, convoluted words or structures you barely understand. It means mastering a core set of clear, consistent, and high-impact patterns that you can use with confidence and accuracy, even under exam pressure. So what does a Band 9 in grammar actually look like? Here's another shocker. It's not error-free. Even Band 9 candidates might make a rare minor slip. The difference is that their language is overwhelmingly accurate. It's accurate grammar used confidently and flexibly to create a wide range of complex sentences that precisely convey their ideas. It's about control and sophistication, not flawless perfection. In this session, I'm going to give you the exact roadmap to develop that control. We'll move from the common errors of Band 5 through the competence of Band 7, all the way to the fluency and precision of Band 9. Let's start by simplifying the official band descriptors. What does Band 5 grammar sound like? It's characterized by frequent errors that can cause some difficulty for the reader or listener. The sentence structures are often limited and repetitive. For example, a student might write, "Pollution is a big problem. Factories make pollution. Cars make pollution. We must to solve it." Notice the simple sentences and the error "must to solve." Now let's look at Band 7. Here we see a good step up. A Band 7 response uses a variety of complex structures, and while some grammatical errors might still be present, they are infrequent and don't impede communication. That same idea might be expressed like this. Pollution, which is caused by both industrial factories and vehicle emissions, is a significant global issue. Although it is a complex problem, governments must implement effective solutions. See the difference? We have a relative clause, which is caused by, and a subordinate clause. Although it is, the grammar is more controlled. And finally, Band 9. At this level, the candidate uses a wide range of structures with full flexibility and accuracy. Minor errors are very rare and can be considered slips rather than systemic problems. The Band 9 version? Addressing the significant global issue of pollution, which stems predominantly from industrial and vehicular emissions, requires the urgent implementation of multifaceted governmental solutions. The sentence is sophisticated, using a participle clause at the start, addressing. Precise vocabulary stems predominantly from multifaceted, and a clear, logical flow, all within a single, well-controlled sentence. This is the power of patterns. Now let's learn the first one. Pattern number 1, tense consistency. This is the bedrock of clear communication. IELTS loves to test your ability to navigate time, whether you're describing a trend in a Task 1 graph, recounting a past event in the speaking test, or discussing future solutions in a Task 2 essay. The most common trap is shifting tenses without a logical reason, which confuses your reader. Let's look at an IELTS writing Task 1 example. Imagine a graph showing unemployment rates from 1990 to 2010. A weak response might say, "The unemployment rate increases in 1995, but then it will fall in 2005. The events are all in the past. The tenses are illogical." A Band 9 response maintains consistency. The unemployment rate increased in 1995, but then it fell in 2005. Simple, accurate, and clear. In writing task 2, you might discuss a past development and its present result. For example, in the past, most people worked in agriculture. Now technology changed everything. The shift is okay, but the second tense is wrong. It should be, in the past, most people worked in agriculture. Now, technology has changed everything. We use the present perfect, has changed, because the change happened in the past, but its result is relevant now. Here's a quick quiz. Look at this sentence. The data shows that the population of the city significantly since 2000. Should it be A, grew, or B, has grown? The answer is B, has grown. The keyword since signals a period of time from the past continuing to the present, which requires the present perfect tense. Pattern number 2, subject-verb agreement. This sounds basic, but it's an error that even advanced learners make under pressure. The rule is simple. Singular subjects take singular verbs, and plural subjects take plural verbs. The challenge in IELTS comes from complex sentences where the subject and verb are separated by other words, or from tricky subjects like collective nouns and uncountable nouns. For instance, a common error. The information from the various reports are useful. The verb are is trying to agree with reports, but the true subject of the sentence is the information, which is singular and uncountable. The correct Band 9 version is the information from the various reports is useful. Let's look at another classic trap. One of the main reasons for this trend are the high cost of living. Incorrect. The subject is one, which is singular. Don't be distracted by the plural reasons. The correct sentence is, one of the main reasons for this trend is the high cost of living. This pattern is especially crucial in Task 1 when you're describing data. For example, the percentage of students who chose science subjects have decreased. Percentage is a singular concept, so it should be, the percentage of students has decreased. Or you could say, the percentages have decreased if you are talking about multiple percentage figures. Mastering this pattern instantly makes your writing sound more polished and academic. Pattern number 3, clause control. This is where you really start to sound like a Band 9 candidate. Instead of just writing simple sentences, you need to connect ideas using complex and compound structures. A key tool here is the relative clause, which adds extra information using who, which, that, or whose. Let's build a sentence. Simple version. The city has a pollution problem. The city is growing rapidly. It's clunky. Let's combine them. Compound sentence. The city is growing rapidly, and it has a pollution problem. Better, but we can do more. Complex sentence using a relative clause. The city, which is growing rapidly, has a pollution problem. This is sophisticated, efficient, and demonstrates high-level grammatical control. Another powerful tool is the adverbial clause, which starts with words like although, because, while, or if. Instead of saying, the project was successful, it was very expensive, you can write, although the project was very expensive, it was ultimately successful. This shows the relationship between the two ideas much more clearly. In the speaking test, this sounds natural and fluent. For example, when asked about a person you admire, you could say, I really admire my old history teacher, who always made the lessons incredibly engaging because he used stories to explain complex events. You've just used a relative clause and an adverbial clause in one breath, naturally and effectively. Pattern number 4, modifiers and word order. A modifier is a word or phrase that describes another word. Where you place it in a sentence is critical for clarity. A misplaced modifier can create confusion or even change the meaning entirely. Look at this sentence. The student wrote an essay in the library that was brilliant. What was brilliant, the library or the essay? The modifier that was brilliant is misplaced. To fix it, we move the modifier closer to the word it's describing. The student wrote a brilliant essay in the library. Or, in the library, the student wrote an essay that was brilliant. Now the meaning is unambiguous. This shows the examiner that you have precise control over your sentence structure. Another common issue is the dangling modifier. For example, walking down the street, the skyscrapers looked magnificent. This sentence literally says the skyscrapers were walking down the street. The introductory phrase, walking down the street, has nothing to attach to. The fix is to add the subject who was doing the walking. Walking down the street, I thought the skyscrapers looked magnificent. Let's upgrade a sentence together. Okay version. The policy was effective, basically. Better version. The policy was basically effective. Best, Band 9 version. Fundamentally, the policy was effective. The placement of the adverb and the choice of a more academic word, fundamentally, elevates the entire sentence. Pattern number 5. Articles, countability, and quantifiers. Articles. A, an, and the. They seem so small, but they cause so many problems. The key is context. Use a or an for a general, non-specific singular noun. A university should provide support. Use the when talking about something specific that both you and the reader know about. The University of Cambridge is famous. Or when you've already mentioned it, I saw a dog. The dog was very friendly. Zero article is used for general plural nouns or uncountable nouns. Education is important. Cities face challenges. A huge area for error is with uncountable nouns common in academic writing, like information, advice, evidence, research, and knowledge. You cannot say an evidence or many advices. Instead, you say a piece of evidence or a lot of advice. Quick quiz. We need to conduct more A. Research or B. Researches? The answer is A. Research. Research is uncountable. Pattern number 6. Prepositions and collocations. Prepositions are the little words like in, on, at, for, and from that show relationships between other words. They often don't follow logical rules and must be learned as part of phrases, which we call collocations. These word partnerships are a sign of a natural, fluent user of English. For example, you are responsible for something, not responsible of. You have an increase in prices, not increase of prices. A result stems from a cause. An incorrect preposition is a clear red flag to an examiner. Let's do some quick transformations. Incorrect. I am interested on this topic. Correct. I am interested in this topic. Incorrect. This depends of the situation. Correct. This depends on the situation. Incorrect. The government should focus at education. Correct. The government should focus on education. Learning a list of 20-30 common academic collocations can dramatically reduce these errors and boost your score. Now for a crucial tip on flow: cohesion without overuse. Many students are taught to stuff their essays with linking words like however, moreover, furthermore, and in conclusion. This is what we call mechanical cohesion. It can feel forced and unnatural. A Band 9 writer creates flow more subtly. Look at this overlinked paragraph. Firstly, technology has improved communication. Moreover, it allows people to connect instantly. However, it can also lead to isolation. Therefore, we must find a balance. Now, let's see a more sophisticated version. Technology has undeniably improved communication, allowing people to connect instantly across the globe. This constant connectivity, however, can paradoxically lead to social isolation. Finding a balance between the virtual and the real world is therefore one of the key challenges of our time. Notice the cohesion comes from using pronouns, this connectivity, repeating and rephrasing key ideas, and using linking words sparingly and precisely where they have the most impact. Let's put it all together with some integrated practice. Here's a typical Task 2 prompt. Some people believe that governments should fund arts and culture, while others think this money should be spent on public services. Discuss both views. I'll model one Band 9 paragraph. While the argument for prioritizing essential public services like healthcare and education is compelling, allocating public funds to arts and culture is an investment in a nation's identity and well-being. The creative sector not only generates significant economic revenue, but also fosters a sense of community and preserves cultural heritage that might otherwise be lost. For instance, national museums and galleries, which are often reliant on government subsidies, provide invaluable educational resources for citizens of all ages. Without this support, access to these cultural cornerstones would become a privilege for the wealthy rather than a right for all. In that one paragraph, we used an adverbial clause, while the argument, subject-verb agreement, sector, generates, a relative clause, which are often reliant, and strong collocations, reliant on, invaluable resources. This is what integrated grammar looks like. So how do you get there? Here is your action plan, your 5-step checklist to reach Band 9 grammar. 1. Stop memorizing rules, start identifying patterns. Focus on the 6 we covered today. 2. Analyze high-quality texts. Read model essays or articles and highlight how they use clauses, tense, and cohesion. 3. Practice with purpose. Don't just write an essay. Try to consciously incorporate a relative clause or a specific academic collocation into each paragraph. 4. Get targeted feedback. Ask a teacher or a knowledgeable friend to check your writing specifically for pattern errors, not just random mistakes. 5. Review and repeat. Keep a log of your common errors and actively work on correcting them in your next piece of writing or speaking practice. Grammar isn't scary. It's the ladder to a higher band. It's a system of patterns that you can learn and master. Start today, focus on one pattern at a time, and you will see your score begin to climb.